It's another challenge, another test for us here. I know we did a good job of ramping up this part of the season here on the competition side, and it even gets tougher this weekend. And I know it's another NCHC weekend against a very good team, and now it's on the road. And 6 of our last 8 games before the first half closes are on the road. And again, it's one thing that we want to do is try to improve on our road record from last year.
I mean, when you set up the schedule, you look at it, and you obviously you put good non-conference teams in there, but your 2 road trips so far this season have been against the number 2 team and the number 1 team.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I guess when we do our scheduling, you really don't have any control of where they're at in that time of the year. When we booked Mankato, that was 4 years ago. So you really don't know where they're going to be in the standings. Perennially, they're a good team every year. Denver's a good team every year too. So, the one thing is the NCHC takes control of the weekends as far as when you play, and you just play them. So, it's a situation where we're looking forward to the challenge this weekend, and we think we're getting better as a team, and I know they think they are too. So it's going to be 2 good teams playing against each other in Denver.
Coach, what's been the biggest difference you've seen on offense this year that's allowed you to be so productive so early?
Well, I think it's the depth of our players. I think everybody. Being a year or 2 older in our group too. You look at the Adams Kawaguchi mismatch line. They're juniors now, and they're making an impact where they have to be, right? And then we've got some good players that have come into our group, and other players are taking a step. And I think it's 4 lines trying to contribute on a nightly basis, not just 1 or 2. So, and then I think it's the habits and details. We talk about it all the time about the habits and details that just don't come in the game. They start earlier in practice that guys are drilling down on early.
I know Magnus Kronos played really well for them, but are you guys happy not to see Philip Larson this year?
Yeah, well, I think Denver always has very good goaltending, and it doesn't matter who it's in the net. I know Larson did play very well, for them last year, and and they have a different goaltender this year that's doing well too. So I think it's more about what we have to do to try to solve the goaltending on the other side of it. And again, each team, not only Denver, but every program in the country has a very good goaltender. So it's about more what we have to do to try to offset that.
Some of your guys were talking Saturday night about Denver being the team that ended your season last year. Do you think there's a little extra?
Well, I think anytime that happens, when your season comes to an end, you have that in the back of your mind. Obviously Denver's a rival of ours too. That there's respect for both programs. I think there's respect there, but there's also a competitive side too. And knowing that that was the last games that we played last year, it goes into it a little bit too. But it's a new team, it's a new group this year, and there's a new focus, and I think that's more so. We're concerned about our group this year, and we're really happy with what's been going on. But again, not complacent that we have to get better each and every day. And this is another test for us this weekend to see where we're at. Going on the road, like I said, that's going to be a mindset for ours. We've proved at home we've done well. Now we got to prove on the road that we can do well too.
It's been a tough place to get wins. Is there anything you guys changed this year, or is it just a new team that's going up there?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I think first of all, it is a new team. It's a new mindset. I think there's a little bit of swagger in our group, and with swagger comes confidence, and I think that's a benefit to our program. And we're playing against a team that has that equally as well too. So, I think the biggest thing is making sure that you have a great week of practice here, getting ready for it. Staying healthy and making sure that we control what we do when we go out there and have a great chance to do what we want to do.
Any update on Gabe Ast?
Gabe is progressing nicely again. I think what I'd like to do, instead of saying rule him out for the weekend, I'd like to probably wait a couple of days to see, and then from there make a decision. Obviously Colton Pullman's back in our group here and did very well. Probably wait for a couple of days to make a comment to see where he's at. But he's progressing and he's getting close.
You've had quite a few. I was looking at your junior class yesterday, and you talked about challenging players, now season and stuff. But it seems like that class has taken it to heart. They've taken a step in their progression. It's very noticeable in stats.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think it's a natural thing because when you're an underclassman, you kind of look for the leadership from the upperclassmen, the juniors and seniors, to kind of lead the way. Well, guess what? We've had some, Jonesy's gone, Guards is gone. We've got some pretty good players that left our group last year. That somebody's got to take up the slack and not only lead, but do it on the ice too. And that's a pride thing. And obviously we talked a little bit about each one of those individuals, how they need to get better, and they've listened to that side of it. But I think the biggest thing now for those guys, as well as our other older guys, is do it every day. Do it consistently every day to get you that on that side of it. And they've been doing a good job so far, and we got to make sure they keep doing that.
What's Jordan Kawaguchi doing well for you guys right now?
I think just playing fast and making plays and having fun and competing hard and just letting his actions on the ice kind of lead by example. You know, when he got recruited here, he spent a lot of time in junior hockey in BC, and he was that dominant player there. And you know, he dominated games, and their team won a lot of games that way. And now he's starting to do that here. So I would say, you know, try to take the team on your back a little bit, not individually and grab it yourself, but kind of lead by example on the ice consistently every game. And I think the biggest thing, he's having fun too.
His vision, you know, he makes some
Yep.
really good passes. Is that something you guys knew he had from junior high?
Absolutely, he's a very smart player. You know, he's a heads up, knows the next play type of player. Obviously, very good shot. You saw that here, but you know, it seems like there's a little bit of chemistry on that line, and those guys are clicking a little bit right now. But yeah, he is a very smart, cerebral player that enjoys playing the game, and you know, the offensive side of the game he's very good defensively too. But the offensive side of his game is where he really shines.